I'm your host, Annie Bowles, and this is News du Jour. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the News du Jour. Happy Friday. We made it through the week, you guys. I am just barely coasting into the weekend. I don't know about y'all. Anyway, we actually have a shorter episode for you guys today because it was a slow news day. We had some big important things to go over. They're just not super long. So if you have extra time today, definitely check out one of our bonus episodes that we put out recently because they are super interesting and on a bunch of important topics. But without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump into the news. So first up, Congress has received Donald Trump's tax returns. So the long battle to get hands on the infamous Trump tax returns is over. They have them, you guys. And as we recently covered, the Supreme Court denied Trump's request to block Congress from receiving these documents, but we were unsure as to how long it would take Congress to obtain them, actually, like get their hands on them following that ruling, but they have them. So what's next? Well, as of now, the tax returns must stay confidential, but the Ways and Means Committee can publish them in the congressional record if they so choose. So it's possible that they will come to light in the future. That said, we do not expect them to be that explosive, seeing as a lot of Mr. Trump's financial records have come to light through the New York Times' research into his business dealings. So if you remember, the Times claimed that he paid 0 federal income taxes in 11 years worth of their findings, which is outrageous given that he runs around flaunting his wealth. It may also be against the law, depending on how he accomplished this, and that's if it's true. Either way, the Democrats will know what he's been up to at this point, so what they plan to do with that information is anyone's guess. And for our next story today, the Oath Keepers are convicted of seditious conspiracy. So you may be asking yourself, who the heck are these Oath Keepers and what are they all about? Well, they were a group founded on great disdain for the government and what they see as the U.S. government's overreach. But then, actually during the BLM movement, they ironically became almost pro-government as they would show up to protests in military gear, supposedly to protect businesses and defend cops. So they are a militia group of sorts that kind of see themselves as defending their version of American life. And of course, they were deeply involved in the events at the Capitol on January 6th. And now the leader of the Oath Keepers, a man by the name of Elmer Stewart Rhodes III, has been found guilty of seditious conspiracy alongside his fellow leaders. The jury believed that the insurrectionists actually genuinely believed that Donald Trump would invoke martial law and that they would have the opportunity to literally overthrow the government and toss out the election results. Rhodes could face as many as 20 years in prison, demonstrating that people can be convicted on serious charges related to these types of conspiracy groups when they choose to take violent action. Additionally, in fringe group news, the election denying continues in one race in Arizona. Kari Lake is refusing to admit that she lost the governorship to her opponent, Katie Hobbs. The Republican Party in Arizona is actually refusing to certify the results of the election. So when they declined to certify, Katie Hobbs, the winner, filed a lawsuit against the Republican Party in Arizona. It was definitely a close race, you guys, but this tendency to just deny that you lost, well, it's dangerous. If you genuinely suspect that mass voter fraud has been committed, move through those legal avenues available to you and prove your case in court. There's so many ways to go about things if you really believe there to be mass voter fraud. I mean, no one wants falsely elected officials, but decisions in this case are set to be made by the end of this week, so today. So we may have some more news to cover on this story come Monday or early next week, so definitely stay tuned. And then before we go for the weekend, I wanted to update you guys on the railway bill being passed. So the issues with the railroads and the potential strike seems to have been resolved. Congress managed to push through legislation to avert a crisis. You see, Congress has the ability to override the powers of unions when the industry is extremely vital to the U.S. economy. And this is one of those instances because the railway system is definitely vital to our economy. So the agreement reached tried to appease both sides, but it certainly made concessions as well. But this agreement will only be put in place until September. It includes a 24% raise over the course of 5 years and additional paid days off. Both parties had proposed agreements that had failed in Congress, but ultimately this version passed with concessions from both the Republicans and the Democrats, proving once again that our leaders can actually work together, you guys, and compromise, but only when they're properly motivated. President Biden is expected to sign the bill quickly so as to avoid any delays in holiday shipping or industry flow during the holidays. So we'll definitely keep you guys posted when it's officially signed. And that is the news du jour. Today, I wanted to leave you guys with the quote, "Winning is a state of mind." If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on whatever podcast platform you use to listen. A rate and review or shout out on social media would mean the world to us and help us be able to keep creating the news du jour. But the best way to support all of our work is to become a patron at www.patreon.com/sugarfreemedia. You can also follow us on social media under sugarfreemedia.co on Instagram and just sugarfreemedia, all one word, on TikTok. We appreciate you listening and look forward to telling you about the news again next time on News du Jour.
Broadcasting from Oklahoma.